Welcome to the Scendent Master Your Mindset podcast, where we learn from top performers and elite achievers how to excel beyond belief and go further than was previously believed before.
Here we go.
Okay, welcome to episode 3 of Master Your Mindset. Today we're here with Sean or Saman Yavari, someone who is an avid hustler, side hustler extraordinaire, studio owner. What else do you do, bro, honestly?
That was an amazing title you gave me.
I'm underselling you, bro.
Now I also operate a cleaning-based business and also do content creation. So yeah.
How did you get started with all these different bits and pieces and jobs? Because a lot of them are in so many different sectors and industries overall.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. I guess they all happen little by little. Growing up, always broke and started doing the paper runs when I was 10 years old. And actually, I got a flyer in my letterbox and it said I had to be 11 to do the paper runs. I called them up. I was like, I'm 10, but I'm strong, please.
You were just desperate to get on that hustle,
Yeah,
right?
I needed any form of money ever. And they said, yeah, sure. From that, did that for a bit. As soon as I turned 15, got a job at McDonald's. Went into management, learned how all the business bits and pieces work. And then did a few more jobs after that. Then I was like, you know what? I can start my own business. And it first started when I was actually in real estate. And real estate's commission only. So basically, once you sell a property, you get paid. Otherwise, you don't get any salary. You don't get any wage whatsoever. So I was like, kind of need some money here because I was waiting for money. And I ended up cleaning a few offices on the side. And I was like, I can just start my own cleaning business. And then the cleaning business was the first of that. Technically, I did content creation ages ago, but it wasn't really a business. I was just posting it more for just what I was learning and teaching people. And yeah, I got hit up with a studio opportunity because I was making content late at night at my own house, but my landlord lived upstairs, right? So at 2 a.m. I'm like, hey guys! And they're like, okay, well, we need you to be a little bit quieter. So I kept renting the space that they had, which was just a music space. It wasn't really a studio. They just used it to record their music. But I asked if I can just come in, record my songs. And eventually one of the founders left the studio. And because I used it so much, they just asked if I wanted to jump in. And the minute I jumped in, I was like, this could just be a business. And then here we are today.
Damn. And the space is so sick. It'll be at the start of the video showing off what's kind of here. First Gen Studios, you guys have done it, works with it. My first time being here, bro, it's really professional.
Yeah, much appreciated, G.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Out of all your ventures you have going on, which do you hold closest to your heart with the most passion?
I'll actually say content creation. And I think the reason why is it fulfills my purpose the most. Like a cleaning business, yeah, sure, I'm cleaning offices at the end of the day, but one, it's not my passion. And two, I guess it's not what I was made to do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I think for you especially, you change people's lives, right? And I think the best way that I can positively impact as many people as possible is through content creation.
Where do you think that purpose and that passion to change others' lives comes from for yourself? Like for me, I've been through experiences and you don't want to see others go through that. So I guess there's a bit of sympathy and empathy that are involved.
Yeah.
Where does it come from for yourself?
It's actually, I think you actually told me this, which is really interesting. Yeah. It's what my younger self needed. And like my younger self was so broke, had no idea about taxes, no idea about business, no idea how to make money. And my younger self just accepted, like, this is the life I have. I was unlucky. I was born in this life. I have to work a job and that's my life, which is not true at all. And I think now that I've learned that, I want to be teaching a lot of younger adults and teenagers saying that, hey, going to uni and getting a job isn't your only option, Like, all good if you want to do that, but that's not your only option that you have.
With this journey, and you're mentioning on this narrative that, how would I explain it? There is a very high precedent in, especially New Zealand society, that it's going to uni is the main way you get success.
Yes.
Why do you think that's in place when it's so not the case anymore?
Yeah, I think it's just been a tradition that's been going on for years, right? And no matter what, like, they need workers because big companies obviously start eating up smaller companies. They need workers, and I guess it's better for the economy if everyone can just work. Uni gets more money. You have to pay money to the government, more taxes, etc.
From your journey, from where you've been, from that broke 10-year-old calling up the paper run people to come here to being where you are now with multiple businesses, the studio, your content creation journey, absolutely smashing it. What would you say the 3 biggest lessons you've learned on the path has been?
Oh, okay. I actually love this question so
Yeah.
much. I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
But no, I think it's like people can take away from it, which is why it's good. But number one, bro, just do what you have to do. As in, like, don't listen to other people. Like, it's hard to explain because obviously there's times you need advice from people. But I think so many people stop their dream or stop going for something that they want because people say, oh, nah, that's difficult to do. Oh, that's risky. Don't do that. You're going to lose money, right? And like, if you listen to everyone, you're not going to get anywhere in life. So you know yourself more than anyone else what you want to do, and you just have to go for it.
So 1, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
2,
consistency is key. Like I'm still actually struggling with this now, to be honest. With content creation, whether it be posting every day or if it's, for example, the cleaning business, calling clients every day, whatever business that you're in, you've got to stay consistent. It's so easy to get a win and then lay back, You're like, damn, I got my first client, time to sit back and enjoy it. But momentum is what carries your business forwards, in my opinion, or anything in life, not even just business, like health. You got to eat clean every day. You don't just like, oh, I ate clean for 1 day, so now I can sit back, And like consistency doesn't mean every single day, but it means like majority. Because if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you have to throw it all out, But as long as it means that you have one bad day and you continue being good again, being back consistent, that's what's important.
Absolutely. So consistency is key. I 100% resonate with that, bro. You got to think of I always call it the big scorpion in the sky. Are you positively moving to run in one direction, or are you pulling back the other way? Yeah. It's always push or pull, and you just got to put yourself in the direction you want to be going through.
Yeah, 100%.
And that final lesson you've learned?
And that final lesson, it kind of ties in with the first one.
Okay.
But it's finding the right group of people to stick around with. Like, it makes such a difference. Like, at the end of the day, can you do everything yourself? Yes, it's possible. But it's so much more of a battle, doing it by yourself compared to people who are around you. And these people don't have to be involved in your business or have to be involved in whatever journey you're in. They just have to be there to support you.
Absolutely.
And the main thing is just understanding your vision. And, they want you to succeed and they want you to do what you think is best for yourself.
So with those people that you have closest to you, are there characteristics you particularly look for that you let in people that are in your close circle, or what's your criteria?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't have an exact criteria, but it's, I guess, do I, have a positive feeling about this person? Is this person positive, I think positivity is the biggest thing. And also number 2 is a drive, whether it be a drive for health, success, wealth, whatever it is, again, just they have a goal in mind and they want to achieve this, right? And they hustle. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Now I'm going to kind of ask you a bit of a sidetrack question,
yeah.
But I'm loving what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What is your earliest memory?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Or
first thing that comes to mind, the earliest you can remember from early childhood.
what? I don't know if I can say this. Okay, getting smacked up by my dad.
Okay. The reason I asked, I think I mentioned this in our last episode with Gabriel. This memory typically has a lot of emotion charged around it, which is why it's something we remember in early age.
That might make a lot of sense, yeah.
What is that feeling that you kind of have from that memory?
Now, it's kind of like it's happened and it doesn't really affect me. Well, maybe it does, but I don't really feel like it does. But before, in the past, there was a lot of built up like anger and revenge feeling.
All from this one like kind of memory trigger, you think?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously did a lot of other bad things as well, but that's like the earliest memory I can remember, yeah.
How much do you think that memory shaped you into who you are today?
That specific memory? Probably quite a lot, yeah. I just always felt like, because I grew up without having a proper father, I felt like I need to be a man, And I ended up taking like fighting, I would like air cadet, learn how to use a rifle, all this manly stuff, which isn't me at all, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of those things I did helped me like be more disciplined, which is good because a lot of those require discipline, like especially the air cadets, your uniform has to be right. You've got to march like this, like, it's very, very strict. And I think, so in a way it did help out.
And thank you for like opening up about that.
Yeah,
for
sure.
All this stuff, bro. It's awesome for the viewers, awesome for the platform. What did you do to kind of like heal and move forward with some of that stuff that happened? Like you mentioned there were bits of aggression that kind of came out in points of time. What did you do to like move through that and get to like where you are now? Because I see none of that like hostility. Your energy is so pleasant and like good to be around all the time.
Thank
What
you
did
very
you
much.
do with time? You know?
I can't really remember like a specific turning point where it changed. But at some point, my mind shit. I'm so tired, bro.
For like context, it's 10:35.
Yeah.
And Saman is running 500 Ks this month.
Yeah.
Absolute athlete.
I'm not an athlete. I'm an
You
ordinary.
are.
I'm
The
an ordinary
identity of
human
an
being.
athlete.
What was I saying? Yeah, mindset. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
my mindset shifted right to my form of revenge is becoming more successful.
I love that.
And being like, you know what? Like, even if all these bad things happen to me, I don't care. You know, I want to take revenge by proving that no matter what happened to me, I can just be who I want to be, rather than pinpointing a specific person. And okay, I can remember a bit of a memory now.
Okay.
I kind of jog my memory now.
Yeah, as you get going.
I remember one time I was talking to my mum about it, saying that, you know, if I ever get my hands on him, you know, talking about my father, like, I can't wait to like hit him. And my mum was like, it's not worth going to jail for someone who isn't, like, you know, like, for someone like that. Like, he's already ruined a good chunk of your life, right? And then would you go to jail, like, ruin more of your life, let him do even more? And I was like, yeah, it doesn't make much sense, actually. Like, you know, yeah, sure, I want to beat him to a pulp, but like, if you're watching this now,
Call outs going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah, but it's like, yeah, so I think success is the best form of, I guess, revenge in a sense. Yeah.
I think that's way more positive. Why do you think some people kind of seek out like these negative pathways in certain instances? Whether it be like a revenge mindset or something goes wrong, they go down a negative pathway with things.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just how you're grown up. Like, I think a lot of it's just, as a kid, anything you're taught always stays with you, in my opinion. Like, whatever your childhood memory was, even though you don't believe those values now, I still think subconsciously you do have those values or memories, I guess. And yeah, I think growing up, like, I wasn't obviously taught, like, you know, be a revengeful person. But, like, a lot of things, like, if I did something wrong, I get yelled at, and it's always, like, aggression, right? Aggression dealing with the problem. If there was a problem, aggression, like, you know? And I think that kind of stayed with me for a long time, that if something didn't go my way, I can yell at them, or I can, you know, I didn't hit anyone, but I hit a lot of objects. Yeah. I used to work at Macca's, and I remember anytime I got frustrated, I went to the freezer and just started pummeling, boxes of fries.
There's probably a clip somewhere on the security
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
beating up these fries, man.
And like at that time, I thought it was healthy, but like at the end of the day, I end up with like busted up knuckles. And, like, I don't feel much better. You know what I mean? It's just not a healthy way of dealing with it.
So on that topic of healthy ways to deal with things, what do you think some healthy ways you currently deal with things are? Because things actually pop up.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way, shit gets thrown at us. But it's how we deal with that and move forward
100%.
that's important, right?
Yeah.
What things do you do to move forward when life gets thrown at you?
Yeah. All right. I've probably 3 things again. First one is talk to someone that, you know, you trust. And it doesn't have to be, a lot of times when I talk to people, it's not so they solve my problem. It's just so I can rant it, get it all out, you know?
Venting, right?
Yeah, but it's obviously very important that you find the right person, because you don't want to be like trauma dumping on this poor soul, you know what I mean? So most of the time, I think I called you up a couple times to be like, hey, I've had this situation come up, can I just rant?
Yeah.
I just want someone to just spill it out on,
and that's
you know?
something I really, really think is so great about you, bro. You ask for permission to rant. Some people, when
it's a bit heavy, like...
yeah. But some people, when they call, they just start the rant.
Yeah.
And you're there on the phone, like, oh.
Yeah, wasn't expecting it, you know? It's like quite heavy.
So that little activity of like, hey, can I just rant to you about this?
Yeah.
Opens the floor straight away, so that's really, really good.
And also on that note, getting it out, if you don't have someone to talk to, I think even writing it out helps. Or just any way of formally just getting out your thoughts, I guess. Because then you kind of empty your mind and you're a bit more clear visioned, I guess.
Absolutely.
So 3 things I said. What was the initial question?
So vent it to someone?
Oh, that's right. Healthy ways of... Yeah,
healthy coping mechanisms.
Second one is like finding how do I explain? Finding a positive way of the negative way. So let me explain.
Okay.
So for example, right? Mine was, for example, punching the fries, yeah? Then I was like, okay, let me take up boxing classes, or let me get to the heavy bag and just do a quick workout, you know? Or, I don't know, whatever it be. Like, it's a healthy way of doing it. Does that make sense? And I think, like, sport and stuff is good, like, because, like, a lot of the... I'm trying to remember the quote exactly, but at my old fighting gym, there was a poster on the wall, which I really liked. And it was like, the best form of happiness isn't from drugs, isn't from alcohol, it's from adrenaline. And I looked at that and I was like, damn, like that's cool, you know? And every time I finish a workout, I always feel this big boost of like, I did it, you know, I'm accomplished. So yeah, that'll be the second way. And then the third healthy way is just like sitting. Sitting and understanding.
Bro, you're loving life right now.
I'm loving life. Like, whenever there's a problem, I sometimes often panic. And I'm like, okay, I need to solve this problem. Like, you know, I get up. Okay, that's what I have to do. Oh my god, so much. And I just end up making it worse. I just sit down, breathe, and I think, okay, is this problem really that big? You know, like I just ask myself these things and think, does this need to be solved now? How badly, like if I don't solve it, is it that bad? And most of the time I end up being like, it's really not that deep. A lot of life's issues, not that deep. But in the moment, it's very easy to see it as this huge mountain.
I think it's really important to put things into perspective sometimes and take, when you can, obviously, your emotions out of certain situations.
Yes,
because
100%.
It's very easy for one thing to happen, it to trigger you, and you're already run down, and then you're thinking the world's over.
Yes,
so
100%.
For sure,
yeah.
I see what you're saying with that. You mentioned on a couple points of like accomplishment and having things that you can actually achieve. When you think back about your business and self-growth journey that you've been on, what would you say your top 3 accomplishments are? 3 has turned into a really good number.
yeah.
Let's go 5. Let's go 5 if you can.
5 accomplishments?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
You got so many, bro.
Yeah. Okay. The first one is posting my first video.
Huge.
It was a horrendous video.
Yeah.
I was at the Macca's car park in my Macca's uniform.
No way.
Yeah. Like talking
Is this
about
on your
side
TikTok
hustle.
account?
Yeah, it's on my TikTok.
Bro,
my very first video. All the way back.
I haven't seen that.
But yeah, because like ever since growing up, I wasn't allowed social media. I got social media at such an old age because my parents were protecting me from it.
Yeah.
And also I was very shy. Like I hated public speaking, everything about it, you know? And just getting the first video out there, it's a big relief. It's like I've started this journey. You know what I mean? So that's number 1.
And so many people don't start.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, and like sure, I've made like so many better videos than that first one, but if that first video wasn't posted, none of the others would have been posted.
That's a good perspective to have on it.
Yeah. And then number 2, another accomplishment. I think it's just letting go of my past. I can't exactly remember an exact moment it happened, so it's hard to call it an accomplishment maybe.
So more of a shift you had in yourself.
Yes, yeah. I'm just trying to think at what point it happened there.
I think it happens over time.
Happens over time, yeah, for sure. And like being at peace with myself, being able to say no to people, and just being able to do what I want to do, you know? Sorry, that was a bit of a cop-out answer for a second one. I'm trying to think of like an exact moment.
Yeah.
3 more. You know what? Screw it. The third one, it's going to be this run challenge.
True.
So, yeah, I decided to do this run challenge to raise awareness for mental health.
We'll send it. Absolutely.
In January, running 500Ks. And the biggest thing is, again, also starting it, but also continuing on with it, you know? Because in my mind, it's like, if I can do this, I can do so many other things. Like, this has been hard. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, people have been saying, oh, like, I don't know how you do it. Me neither. Like, I have no idea how I'm alive, you know? Some of them, most of the runs were on, like, less than 4 hours of sleep. Like, horrendous. Not good for the mental health.
No.
But it's like, if I can do this, I can do anything. You know what I mean? So I think that mindset's good. And then number 4. 5 is a big number.
We can't just have 3
I only know how to count to 3.
Oh,
let me think. Yeah, I need to do some editing here.
We'll just leave it raw, bro.
Alright, in that case. Accomplishment.
I noticed the newspaper flyer here with the studio.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'd say the studio. Maybe not the newspaper specifically. That was literally one email I sent in the lazy night. Yeah, they're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, sure, the studio. Actually, definitely the studio. And the reason why is, again, it's given me a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Because when we first started the studio, it was like, okay, rent the place out for musicians, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's a cool business, but I didn't feel fulfilled at all, you know? But now we've turned the business more into getting these artists or creators, whether they be photographers, podcasters, or musicians, or whatever they be, you know? And try to get them on a stage, try to get them a performance, they get paid, like, it's amazing. Like, that way I feel so fulfilled being able to help other people achieve their goals. So yeah, definitely that.
There's a big theme of you helping and like wanting to support people with everything. that's going on. Where do you think that exactly comes from?
I think that's low-key like the meaning of life. Like if someone that's gone real deep.
Yeah.
But if someone was to ask me the meaning of life, it would be to positively impact as many people as possible. And today, actually, I was running with one of my friends, Justin, and he was telling me he wants an Aston Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's interesting, right? And he was saying he doesn't care about the Aston Martin. But in order to get the Aston Martin, he needs to help around, like, I don't know, whatever the number is, like 500 or 5,000 people, you know, through coaching courses or whatever, to get that. And he's saying that's why it's a good goal. Because all the people you help to get that goal. And that's when I thought about it like that, it's insane.
The way he frames it in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's a piece of car, you know, it's a piece of metal at the end of the day. Like, yeah, it looks nice and it's cool to have, you know, but it's about all the people you help to get to that point.
I see. With goals kind of coming into the conversation naturally now.
Yeah.
Do you have like long-term and short-term goals that you're aiming and working towards?
100%. Yeah, I always set long-term and short-term goals. I make a vision board every single year, and that's what actually started this challenge. Because I looked at last year's vision board and I was like, oh, I didn't post consistently, and my fitness went down a little bit. So I was like, how can I post consistently?
So what is a vision board? Let's just explain to the audience.
Yeah. So a vision board is basically all your goals in image form. So whether it be a house, or whether it be a car, or whether it be happiness, peace, whatever it be, all just plastered on a board. I just quickly whipped it up on Canva. It's free, so you guys can. Yeah, and there's a bunch of free templates online. But yeah, because it's just a cool way to visualize your goals. I'm pretty big into like manifesting in a sense, and I think if you can see your goals, it's more likely to happen.
So
I didn't answer your question. What was your question?
No, that was a side topic question.
Yeah.
Goals, short-term and long-term, you're aiming for.
Oh, right. So what goals I currently have? So a lot of the goals, short-term goals are very specific business goals. So for example, for the cleaning, it's like get X amount of clients. For the videos or my content creation, it's get this many followers. Which like, it's cool, but it's not that fulfilling once again, you know? And my long-term goals are what's much more fulfilling, and it's what I want to do, I guess. So that's like traveling countries and, you know, exploring the world, seeing other cultures, appreciating other cultures. And for the cleaning business, it'll be to, you know, help. Eventually, my goal of the cleaning business is to sell it off. But I want to sell it to like a young hustler, not some old big company. I don't want to sell it into another company because like it doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? It fulfills me being able to help someone start their dream. You know what I mean? So long-term goals are big things like that. And with the content creation, I'm going to launch a free, I'm not plugging this, I'm going to launch a free ebook at some point, you know?
And you've been putting work into
Yeah.
When we first connected, you were telling me, I'm putting work into it.
Yeah. And for that, I just want to get as many people as just to be able to use it because it's free, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, but I'll probably have a paid product at the end of the day at some point, you know? But that's not in my long-term goal because I don't think that is as fulfilling as these other things.
I get that. And with these goals and short-term and long-term in mind, is there a person you're trying to become in this journey? Because a lot of goals, habits, I'm referencing from James Clear, Atomic Habits, starts with the identity, is how we build and move into these things.
Yeah.
So what is the identity or the person you're trying to be to accomplish these things?
Yeah, that's actually interesting you mentioned that because I saw a video ages ago, I think it was on Instagram Reels or something, about ask ChatGPT. So think about like your ideal person.
Love ChatGPT, by the way.
Yeah. Think about your ideal person, right? Exactly who you want to be. For me, it's like being very well in shape, having a really loving relationship, having a good family, having a good social network, whatever it be. And as detailed as possible. And I asked ChatGPT like, hey, this is the life I want. Give me the daily habits I should be doing. And it gave me a list. And I'm still working towards it. I'm not achieving it, you know.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight, exactly, yeah. But yeah, the person I want to be is like, it's just the future me, if that makes sense.
What title would you put on that person, future you? Like, what kind of stuff do they do?
Him.
You already are him, bro.
What kind of stuff do they do? Like day to day?
Yeah.
Or... I think that person just, again, helps as many people as possible.
So they're a helper.
Yeah, and also works hard without burning themselves out or sacrificing their health or their relationships. And that's the biggest thing I've been needing to work on. Like a lot of the goals I do achieve, but I always end up sacrificing something else, you know? And most of the time it's been my health, hence why I decided to do this challenge.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if my health is improving at all.
It is in some areas.
In some areas,
but
like,
sure.
for example, things like sleep, and,
Yeah.
you know, like I actually want to be like a healthy person. And I want to say that, hey, I was able to do all these things whilst balancing a good life.
I think the big goal I hear you saying is to be very holistic. And
Yes, that's a great word, yeah.
people overuse the word balance, so I don't like it. And I think Jeff Bezos said it best. It's you're looking for harmony, not balance.
Yeah.
When it all kind of flows and just works.
Yeah.
Balance is a physical, like, oh, I'm trying to like work these things out and slot these into
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
and it's clunky.
Yeah.
Harmony just flows. I
like that a lot, yeah. Because balance is a lot of like, it's not always equal, if that makes sense. It's like, because I've done this, I'll now do this, you know? Like, okay, because I work 8 hours or 16 hours today, I'll go on my phone and scroll for 2 hours. But then now it's like, you keep juggling, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, and it's tiring. That itself is tiring.
How do you manage juggling and going through so many different things and so many different, like, completely different spaces?
Yeah.
From studio work to content creation to cleaning business to all the other side hustles I know you have under your belt. How do you manage and keep track of all these things going on?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm still struggling. That's probably the biggest thing I'm struggling with still. But the biggest things that's helped me is, number one, getting a team. I always had the mindset of like doing everything solo. Like, you know, I'm the man. I can do this by myself. I don't need to pay a team. I don't need employees. You know, whatever it be, you need a team to help you out eventually to go past a certain point.
For sure.
And also, like, everything just gets done better. Because, like, for me, right, I can't be an expert in everything, you know? But there are people who have spent their whole life specializing in that one thing. And it just makes so much sense for them to do that one thing, right? And another thing I also do is just plan my whole week ahead at the beginning of the week. So Google Calendar, goated. It's free.
Oh, I love Google
It's
Calendar,
so
honestly.
good for being free, like, you know what I mean? And always just slot in a specific time to work on each thing, including free and spare time. And the spare time is really good because before I wasn't allocating spare time, and if something went, like, for example, overtime, let's say a meeting, then I'm like, oh damn, my whole day's ruined, like my whole schedule's gone, you know? But then if I have this free time, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just use 30 minutes of that free time, catching up.
So every day you allocate free time?
Yeah, I need to, otherwise I just don't. It's so many unexpected things happen, right?
So we talked a bit of who you want to be, how you manage all these things, but another area I've typically focused on as well is who are other people you've looked up to that have been doing these things? The mentors, the heroes, the people in the everyday world, alive or dead, I don't know who they may be, that have inspired you to be on this journey and keep you going. Who are some of those individuals for yourself?
Yeah, so I don't have like a specific person in mind, which is like the perfect role model, but I've got a lot of people who I can take little elements from. So, for example, the good old David Goggins, you know? But, like, I wouldn't want his life at all, you know what I mean? But, like, the discipline aspect, for example, that I can take away. And I think that's amazing, for example. Another one's, like...
But
brain just exploded.
brain farted.
I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah, another person is Kobe Bryant, right? Such a hard worker, such a hustler, you know? Like, insane work ethic, waking up at 4 a.m. every day, like, shooting hoops, and, you know, he worked so hard, and that's why he was at the best at his time, you know? So, like, yeah, there's elements from everyone that I can take.
Absolutely. And what lessons do you think you would want to pass on to the next generation from everything you've kind of learned?
Yeah, just do it. Trademark Nike.
And now copyright.
There goes the video. Nah, but I think it's just so important. Like, I know there's so many people who know exactly what they want to do, but they don't do it, whether they're scared or all these different excuses. And I get it. Like, it is scary doing something new, you know? But it's like, would you rather just, you know, like, if you give it a go, right? It either doesn't work out and you know that. And if it works out and you're happy, you're successful, right? But you don't want to be on your deathbed thinking, what if, you know? You're always full of regret. I don't think anyone's going to sit on their deathbed and regret trying something. You know what I mean? Going for their dreams. So that's it.
Summarized all into one. You
Yeah.
didn't need 3 this time, eh?
It's just the one swoosh, not the 3 stripes.
Oh, I love it. How did we initially meet?
How did we initially meet?
Yeah.
It's been a while, eh?
It's been 2022 we met.
Yeah. Damn, bro.
Did you reach out to me on TikTok or something?
Yeah, so I actually don't remember the first video I saw, which is kind of annoying because I
Yeah,
feel like it
yeah.
would be great. Regardless, it was a terrible video.
Probably, man.
Your face took up 80% of the camera and you're like, yeah, I'm here to change the New Zealand mental health system. And I'm like, you know what? You're going for something.
Yeah.
I can see your passion through the screen, you know? And like, is it something that I'm super passionate about? Actually, well, technically, yes, yeah. But is it something, a field that I'm in? No, it's not a field I'm in. Super passionate about it, but I can just see your positivity, I guess. And I just basically reached out being like, hey, if you need any help, let me know. And I was thinking this was going to be a one-off thing. Here we are 3 years later. No, but I'm loving every part of it, bro.
Yeah.
And you've been super positive and you've impacted my life so much in a good way. So I appreciate you heaps.
Oh, much love back, brother. I remember the skate event we did.
We went through some rough patches.
Honestly, man. Like,
but we worked hard, man. We
the
worked
hustle,
hard. Yeah.
The highs, getting the funding.
And yeah, and all this work and for no pay. You know what I mean? It's pretty nuts. Like, not many people will do what we're doing, you know? And especially you. Yeah.
Why do you think so many people are scared to take a leap and try things in today's world?
Yeah, a big part is like society, tradition, the past, right? It's again normal to go to uni, you know? It's not like you're not meant to do your own thing. It's not, you know. And also second is like obviously it's risk, you know? But like I think people don't realize that like living your day-to-day life, hating your life is just as risky. Like I know so many people who's lost their like stable jobs during COVID.
Oh, literally.
Or any tech, you know, AI obviously taking over heaps of jobs. I was doing merchandising before in the past. So that's
Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, and Cadbury, two of the biggest companies, right? And it's basically like stocking up shelves. And there was a lot of our competitors that like competitor different, I don't know, they stock up other chocolates or other carbonated beverages, and they all lost their jobs because you know it's just not needed anymore because the staff of the supermarket do it rather than getting third party in.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like, and these people have worked at these jobs for 50 plus years, even some of them, you know, just working day in, day out. And they're like, this is a stable job. But it's really not. And like, is starting a business more risky? Maybe, you know, but like, it's like a flipping a coin for happiness, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather take the chance and be happy.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's the classic thing. If it fails, if it all goes wrong, and you're doing it young, you can always do something else.
You can always do something else, yeah. And by the way, just putting it out there, I want to emphasize this every time I talk about this kind of stuff. It's 100% okay to go to uni, get a degree, and get a job. Like, I'm not saying don't do that, you know? If that's actually genuinely what you want to do, go for it. I'm not saying don't do that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
The thing I like to think of is if you want to get into a field where you need a degree, you have to go to uni. There's no question or if and buts about it, right? Like
can't be a doctor.
Degree. Yeah. I don't know if I want a ChatGPT learned doctor coming in to do a surgery on me.
I got you, G.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, fair.
But like, I don't think people should feel forced to go in.
Yeah, and like technically you're not forced, you know? But there's like heavy pressure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
In my job before sending it full time, they had students that would come into work, and one of them ended up getting a job. And he asked me, like, what were your NCA qualifications, the New Zealand National Academic Standardization Tests and stuff here? And I was like, no one's ever asked me about what I got in NCA the whole time I've been working.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that this kid had he was like, I'm going to have to work these like bummy jobs. I can't get anything. This is going to be the way it is for the rest of my life. I'm like, nah, bro. People just want to know you work hard, you're going to show up.
Yeah.
And you know what you're in for.
Yeah. And going back to before how I said, you know, it's important to get a team.
For sure.
Exact same thing. I do not care if they went to uni. And that's not what I look at, you know? I just have a call with the person. Are they a positive person? Are they willing to push and drive for this, you know? Do they really want this? If yes, done. It doesn't matter if they have years of experience in education or none. It doesn't matter to me.
Is there anything that you've done in life that you would do differently with the experience you have now?
In life differently? Experience I have now. That's a great question. I would say start earlier. You know? Again, it goes back to exactly what I was saying before. But like I knew all these things I wanted to do, but I didn't take action until years later. Out of especially what other people said. I let that affect me so much, you know? A lot of my friends at that time was just saying like, hey, don't do that. And every single one of my friends went to uni. I was the only person in my friend group who didn't go to uni. And obviously that's scary, right? And I think, I'm losing all these people that are, you know. But again, I knew what I wanted to do and I went for it.
If people don't know what they want to do, because that's a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
They're overwhelmed by the plethora of options out there at the moment, and they're kind of overwhelmed or just haven't found the passion yet. What would you say to them?
Yeah, actually, that's really good, because at one point when I knew I didn't want to go to uni, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And luckily, my mother told me to take a gap year, and in that gap year, I traveled to Japan, and at that point, I realized, okay, I'm not going to sit at the desk because I enjoy going out so much, you know? And obviously, traveling's like, it's not an option for everyone, but change your environment, I would say. Because especially like alone time helps heaps, because then you're away from everyone's, opinions about what they want you to do. It's just you. Whether it be like going camping on a weekend or just moving to another city for like, one night, or it can be a couple of hours, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like a whole trip. But just staying in a different environment and think to yourself, what makes me happy? And then pursue that.
So follow the happiness as you go.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite environments you've been in or put yourself in?
Japan.
Yeah? Number one?
Yeah, I'd say, it's just, I don't know if it's Japan specifically, but it's just something different, you know?
Culture shock, food shock, city shock.
Everything.
Completely different to here.
And like, they're so efficient there, and like, it's just cool to see like a whole different world that exists. Another one is temples. I'm not religious, but I go to a lot of temples. I've gone to mosques, I've gone to churches, and I think it's good to sit and see people put their faith into something, if that makes sense. And like, it's very weird. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Perfectly.
So, yeah. So I do believe in like, whether it be the universe or another being somewhat impacting my life, I still do put my faith somewhere, if that makes sense. And I think that also helps me just realize what I want to do.
Okay. Do you think travel's been a major part of like developing your perspective on a lot of things?
Perspective-wise, yes, yeah. But like, you can obviously travel as much as you want, but if you're not open to it, then it's not going to do much for you. You've got to be open to like accepting different cultures and whatever it is, you know?
Why do you think some people don't want to travel? Because it's not that common. Most people are like, oh, I go a quick holiday somewhere. But there are those few people that, whether it's there's a bit of fear or something that's kind of kicked in there. Why do you think some people don't want to travel? Experience the world.
I mean, first of all, like it's a lot of people like comfort, you know? I love discomfort because it's always like something new. But it's completely okay to be in your comfort zone, you know? And traveling could be very, like, it's a whole new different world, you know? Even the airplane's uncomfortable, like, before you even get to the destination, you know what I mean? So I think that's why a lot of people don't want to travel, and which is perfectly okay.
Do you have places on your travel bucket list that you want to go to, check out?
I want to go to every country in the world, so...
Where would be next on the agenda to go check out?
So I'm actually going to South Korea, so that's next on the agenda, and I'm going to Thailand after that. But next year, or after those two, definitely Europe. Because it's just a whole continent that I haven't explored, you know?
Yeah, for sure. There's so many countries.
And you can see so many different cultures and like just driving around. The fact to drive, because we live in New Zealand, so just driving to different countries is just so mind-blowing.
So
Yeah. I can't fathom it, you know what I mean? So definitely that,
Now, one of my favorite questions to ask people.
Yeah.
If you were to go back to that 10, 11-year-old yourself, all the knowledge you have now, what would be the first thing you do?
Invest in Bitcoin. No.
If only, right?
No. Money is not everything, you know?
Yeah.
I think, real quick point I want to add in. I think a lot of people think money is a goal. And a lot of people put money as a goal, like having this much money. But like, money should never be the goal. Money helps you achieve certain goals, but it should never be the end goal. Because like, what do you need money for? You know what I mean? Like, is it for travel? Is it for looking after a family? Like, that makes sense. But just plain money is not going to make you happy. But anyway, back to the question.
No, I love that. That's so important.
Yeah. Back to the question. What would I tell?
I'll add a quick anecdote while I think that's all right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I read this book called The Happiness of Economics.
Okay.
I picked it up from an op shop, and I don't know why, but I looked at the cover, and it was just an egg. And I looked at like, why the heck is there an egg on like an economics book, you know? And I picked it up, looked at Happiness of Economics. I'm like, okay, I've picked it up. It's like $1.
Yeah.
I'll buy it, you know?
Yeah.
Bought it. Most interesting read. The main principle I picked up out of the book, once you can afford basic necessities of life, the happiness from your wage increasing starts to feed off like wean
Oh,
off.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So once people can put the lights on, put food in the fridge, get to work,
Yeah.
maybe have a bit of playtime, the diminishing returns is exponential after that.
That's very
So
interesting. Yeah.
more money isn't always more happiness.
Yeah,
Backed up
100%.
and proven.
Yeah, and think about all those celebrities. They're loaded, but they have so many problems, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, money truly cannot solve every issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to 10-year-old, 11-year-old Saman.
Yeah.
Starting again.
Yeah, this
What would you get into?
might be a bit of a simple answer,
Yeah.
but trust the process.
Trust the process.
I think so many times I'm working towards something, especially as a kid. Like I'm thinking, oh, like I don't know what to do, or I put so much work in. Why am I not getting anything out of it? You know, good things take time for sure.
Mm.
And just not giving up and just keep on going and trusting the process is key.
What would the roadmap look like? So if you're going to detail a process to put yourself through or put another individual through, what would you say? Like, hey, go and do these things, and this is going to give you the best opportunity. Not going back in time, but starting from today.
Yeah. Oh, starting from today?
Starting from today.
The roadmap?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. I would say really, really be clear and concise about the goals I have.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, as you know, I work on a lot of things, and I think sometimes I just try. In the past, I think this is really important to take up every single opportunity you can. But then once you've got things kind of going for you, you don't have time, you know what I mean?
You have to be more selective.
You have to be more selective, and I think currently I'm just spreading myself way too thin. And even if I see another opportunity, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Like, let me get in there, and then I kind of neglect certain things. So really just sit down, I guess, see exactly what my goals are, and see exactly what I need to do to achieve these goals.
Gabriel from the episode before mentioned look into compounding interest.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I think that's a point that the viewers should really look into quite a lot, where it doesn't have to be exactly investing, even though I know you're a big investing buff as well. It can be in anything. Yeah. Starting something and putting those reps in, the compounding interest from anything is huge.
Yeah. What was the... I forgot what you call it. What do you call it? Exponential, I think?
Yeah, exponential.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the graphic. It's like 1 of the exponential 365, still 1, you know? Yeah. That's if you do nothing. But 1.01, right? Where you're just putting in like up 1%. Yeah. You just put in 1% and then exponential by 365. It's a huge number. So just by putting in a little bit more work and just, it eventually leads into way bigger things.
I think it's like 37 times. 37 times bigger than when you started.
It's insane, right? And for such a small change.
Absolutely huge. Final question.
Yeah.
Unless there's any other quick points you want to go over with things you want to talk about.
No, not at the moment. I probably come up with
gone
something
over quite a lot, eh?
Yeah, I probably come up with something when you ask me this
That's
last
always
question.
the case.
Yeah.
Episode 5 coming soon. If you were to randomly get struck by lightning, get hit by a bus,
yeah. Out of all the questions, this was not what I was expecting. Yeah.
Die in a fiery plane crash.
Yeah.
What message would you want written on your tombstone? This is your lasting legacy. Yeah. 1 sentence, paragraph at most. Yeah. What would you want on there for it to be remembered by?
I'm trying to shorten as much as possible. It's been quite long.
Yeah, go for the full spiel.
Yeah. He did everything he said he was going to do. And he tried his best to impact as many people in a positive way. That's it.
Boom.
Yeah. I want to always stick to my promises, and everything I set out, I want to go and do. And obviously the main important thing, what we talked about, a lot of this, is just helping as many people as possible in a positive manner.
Absolutely. And where can people check you out?
Well, our best place would be just Instagram, just Saman _Yavari with an extra I because someone else took the other username.
There's another Saman Yavari.
Outrageous. Like, I've got such a strange name. It's outrageous, but yeah.
I guess I got a side question. Why do you sometimes go by Sean or Saman?
That's actually perfect, yeah. So, when I was growing up, my identity was supposed to be hidden, so my dad wouldn't find me. Because there was a lot of like online harassment, and Facebook was like new, and obviously it was bad. So in high school, I was called Sam.
Really? I didn't know this part.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were Sam.
So I was Sam because it's just Saman minus the AN, right? But then eventually my dad found out. So I was like, okay, time to switch it up into something way more unique. Sean. It was not that much more unique. I could have I wasn't a very smart fellow.
I mean, it's different.
Yeah, and Sean actually came from Shaun the Sheep, which was a show I loved.
Really?
There was a video game, a Shaun the Sheep video game. we had to solve puzzles.
That's
And I was like,
crazy.
you know what, I'll be Sean. And then after that, I didn't care about my whole identity thing anymore. But then I got a little bit self-conscious about my name because I was like, wow, it's a foreign name. Like, it's a bit hard to say. And I was just like, yeah, I still, I guess, hid my true identity, I guess, for a long time out of fear.
Out of fear.
And yeah, and I just felt like, oh, I've got a strange name, you know, like, oh, less jobs are going to get back to me. I had the victim mindset, you know, like, oh, less jobs are going to get back to me, maybe with this name, and maybe people don't like me as much with my name. Now I don't care.
How did you step into that authenticity?
Yeah, it's actually a TikTok video I made, and I was like, you know what? My real name is this, and everyone's like,
No way!
no way! Because I was like, you know, I'm just going to be me. Like, I was so tired of being someone I wasn't. And like, even though I can be as authentic as possible on camera, right? If I'm not using my real name, it's
only so far it goes.
Yeah. So I was like, at one point, I'm just gonna use my real name. And the comments were super positive about that. So, and the only reason why a lot of people still call me Sean or Sam or whatever is just because they've known me through school. And they've been calling me that the whole time. Yeah. So, you know, they're just so used to it.
Yeah, because I go through saying different names at different times to introduce you.
But the amount of times that someone's introduced me, and like there's like, oh, it's Sean. I'm like, hey, Saman, nice to meet you. They're like, what?
It's like, do you know this guy?
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, Saman now is what I normally go with.
Yeah. So finding true identity.
Yeah.
All this wrap up. You've got this final story on your gravestone. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience?
Keep sending it.
Never stop. Keep going.
Never stop. And yeah, go out and do the thing you're meant to do or you want to do. Stop waiting around, G. You got this.
Love that. We'll end that there. And as always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Send it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Master Your Mindset podcast. We hope the information in here will help you evolve into becoming the best version of yourself. To keep up to date with further episodes and what Scendent is up to, follow us across our social media platforms. Keep in touch, and as always, send it.